Do you ever just feel like you can start off strong on your health and fitness journey? Maybe the first 5, 10, 15 pounds is pretty easy to lose, but then eventually something happens. And maybe that's unfortunate events, we like to say. And these unfortunate events could be stressful. And there's so many of them. It could be you're traveling. It could be falling off track on the weekends. It could be lack of community, lack of support. It could be injuries, it could be illnesses, it could be deaths in the family, it could be stress at home where, maybe you're arguing with your spouse or maybe worried about finances, or maybe it's stress, regardless, right? Stress is literally everywhere and everybody goes through stress. And, my job as a coach is really to educate and help our members understand, right? What all this means when it comes to becoming the best version of themselves. Because somebody could be following through with hitting their macros, getting plenty of steps in, crushing it for their workouts. But at the end of the day, if they're dealing with so much stress, they're spiking their cortisols, there might not even be in a stage where they can actually lose body fat. So it's like all that hard work, they're not even seeing any of the results, and it became very discouraging at times. And who knows, maybe that's happened to you. Let's say you're on your own health and fitness journey and the first 5, 10 pounds, once again, it's very easy to lose, but then something happens. Maybe you have to travel for work or maybe you get injured, at the gym, something happens and it seems to always kind of derail you. Well, in today's video, I want to go over 5 different strategies, 5 different keys that you guys can just pick and choose, just depending on what season of stress that you're in. Once again, whether it's an injury, whether it's an illness, whether it's something going on at home or at work, whatever the case may be, there's 5 different strategies that we're going to go over here. And I guarantee you that at least one of them is going to help you on whatever season of stress that you're in, okay? And once again, the reason why this is so important to go over is because you might be on your health and fitness journey trying to lose body fat, but you're at this stall, and I want to educate you before we even continue. Remember, it doesn't matter what that form of stress is, but this is the simple fact of it's stressful. So think about it from this perspective of, let's say we have a factory, right? A manufacturing plant, and maybe they're making like metals or I don't know, right? Like something like that. But regardless, it's like these chambers and there's employees, right? And they're maintaining the machines. They're making sure that the factory is working properly, right? They're hard at work. Well, let's just say that there's a small little fire that's inside of the factory and the fire alarms go off. Everybody is rushed to go outside of the building because no one obviously wants to be caught on fire, right? Totally understandable. Well, at the end of the day, the machines are still running, even though no one's looking at them and maintaining them and, doing what they have to do, to work on them properly each and every day that they do. They're outside, but yet the machines are still running. So what does that mean for us? Well, think about it like this. Our fat loss hormones, right? Like things like that help aid in our healthy metabolism, things that help aid in, building lean muscle tissue, things that help aid in obviously losing body fat itself, right? Our fat loss, hormones, they're outside, right? Like underneath all that stress that we might be in, they're kind of outside, which means that our body sure can still do things. It's not like our body just shuts off, just like the factory doesn't just shut off. It's not like the lights just turn off all of a sudden. No, it's like the factory still runs, but yet the people are outside. So keep that in mind. Maybe when we're underneath a lot of stress at home, at work, injuries, travels, falling off track on the weekend, worry, doubt, fear, maybe you're watching too much news, maybe you're comparing yourself to other people out there on social media. Remember, there's so many different areas of stress in our lives, and just depending on how that affects you emotionally, it can be very hard, and for other people, it could be not stressful. It just kind of depends on you. Everybody's different. But what I'm getting at is that you can be underneath all this stress, and our fat loss hormones, they ain't going to be working for us, brother, right? Which kind of sucks. So at the end of the day, implementing some of these strategies can really help you out. Okay, now I'm underneath a lot of stress right now, physically. And it's kind of weird because I'm normally never underneath stress physically, unless I injure myself with normally like my back. But like right now, I'm training for this High Rocks tournament, which is like a mixture of running and CrossFit combined in the two. And it's intense, but I tell you what, I'm doing like my burpee broad jumps. I'm doing my sled pulls, my sled pushes. I'm doing my wall ball tosses. I'm focusing on my cardio for this event. my body has been feeling it. The event is about a month and a half away. And so I'm training pretty aggressively for this. I want to show up as my best. I'm doing it with my brother. We're actually going to be flying into Chicago, and I'm really excited about that. We're going to meet with some of the Heartletics members, which I'm pumped about. And we're going to have a good time. We're really going to push ourselves. But with that being said, I'm underneath stress right now physically. My elbows, my shoulders, my knees, my back, my ankles, literally, I feel it. I'm in my early 30s, and I feel like I'm in like my early 80s right now with just amount of stress that I'm feeling in my bones and my joints. Okay, so the first strategy that I want to go over with you guys, because you might be feeling like me right now, right? Maybe, who knows? It's like you're working out hard in the gym, or you're working out hard at, home. Maybe you're doing some push-ups, some squats, some sit-ups. Maybe you're working out with some equipment. You might be underneath a lot of stress. So the first strategy that I have for you is a deload week. Now, this could be 1 or 2 weeks on how to deload. I have a completely updated step-by-step, video on my YouTube channel on how to do a deload week properly, to making sure that, hey, you're still going through the motions, you're not losing any of your progress, but at the same time, you're not killing yourself in the gym anymore. You're literally giving your body a chance to kind of like reset its system. So I'll put it to you guys like this in a very short, easy way. All right. But obviously, go on my YouTube channel, just type in like deload week. You'll see it. When you get there, give that video a thumbs up. I put a lot of hard work into creating that one. And subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're there also. Side note. But anyways, a deload week is you're still going to the gym. You're still working out. It's not like you stop by any means, but you're not really pushing yourself. And it can be very challenging at times also, because your job is to go through the range of motions. Let's just say you're doing like flat dumbbell chest press. And if, let's say, normally you are repping out, 80 pounds, right, for 8 reps. Well, you want to cut it back all the way to like 50% less. So that means instead of me using 80 pounds, now I'm only using about, 40 pounds, maybe even lighter than that. And so at the end of the day, what I'm doing is still going through the same exercises, still going through the same rep ranges, everything. I'm not changing up anything except for how much weight that I'm using. And what I'm doing essentially is, it can be hard because you are focusing on more mind-muscle connection and getting a really good workout in. But at the same time, you're focusing on just letting your body go through that range of motion without crushing itself, without lifting heavy, without killing its joints and all that stuff, like how I'm feeling right now, especially with my elbows and my shoulders. So that could be 1 week, that could be 2 weeks. It's a preference, but that's the first strategy, is give yourself a deload week. And this is, once again, just some time away from all the heavy lifting, okay? The second thing that you can do is do what you can with what you have. And in the beginning of this year, when I went down to Disney with my family for my son's birthday to celebrate, this is prime example. In fact, in the next several days, I'm actually going to be, traveling down to Florida, and another prime example, right? It's just depending on where you are. Hey, do with what you can with what you have. So when I went to Disney, like, there was no gym or anything with the resort that we were staying at, but I did a whole bunch of push-ups, a whole bunch of squats. When I'm flying down to Florida here in the next several days, I'm not going to be going to a gym or anything like that, but I'm still going to be working on, plenty of steps. I'm still going to be doing my push-ups, my sit-ups, different things like that with what I have. So with some of you guys, I hate to say this, but you give yourself like way too much leeway, where it's like, oh, I'm traveling for work, or I'm going on vacation, so I'm not going to do anything at all. Like, no, this should be prime for you to just say, okay, hey, even though I'm in a whole different area, I want to get into my subconscious mind and reprogram it that, hey, I prioritize my health so much that even when I'm traveling, despite me not having any equipment at all, what can I do with the roll the punches so I can still, work out, so I can still focus on my health and fitness journey? Because I'll say it for myself. If, let's say, I travel somewhere and I don't start off the day with some push-ups and sit-ups, I don't start off the day, being physically fit, that personally for me could be self-sabotage, because now it's like I'm giving myself kind of like leverage. Oh, Joe, you didn't work out today, so it's okay to eat the McDonald's for lunch. It's okay to, have the burgers or whatever junk food's possible, because, hey, we already had a bad day, and then we'll reset and start all over fresh tomorrow. Sorry, hate to say it, but like, that's a horrible mindset. And that's something personally I've been trying to work on for years, and I'm getting better at it. But I hate that problem within myself where it's like sometimes I use that as leverage. Once again, hey, I miss a workout, so hey, it gives me permission to eat bad. Once again, bad mindset. So that's why the second strategy is do what you can with what you have, because it's going to also help you just stay on track mentally. All right. The third tip, and this is so important, and this is what I tell all of our members, like, hey, once again, like do the easiest thing possible to help you lower that stress. And sometimes it's just sleeping more. Like I know for me, whether it's just a bad day at work or, I'm underneath a lot of stress, maybe I'm sick, right? That's a stressor on my body, right? I'm stressed for my immunity, right? My immune system, whether it's my joints, once again, all the inflammation, that's stressful. But anytime I can sleep more, it's like my body rejuvenates and just kind of heals itself. And plus, like any kind of emotional or, mental stress, right? Just sleeping and just taking a little break helps out so much. So my recommendation for you is, make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep. Remember, you can be crushing into the gym, crushing it with the workouts and the nutrition, but if you're not sleeping enough, you could be underneath a lot of stress, spiking your cortisol levels, making it very difficult for you to lose body fat successfully. We want to make sure that we're doing everything properly here on our health and fitness journey. So I really hope that you guys are getting a lot of value from these tips. And if you are, once again, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up, right? Leave a comment down below letting me know your biggest takeaway. And also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you never miss a future video. Okay. Now, when it comes down to maybe incorporating better sleeping habits for yourself, here's some recommendations, because I understand that for some people, it's hard to get sleep. And let me just say this, for your occupation, if let's just say physically, like you're capped out on time, there's nothing that you can do at all to improve your sleep Monday through Friday, then try to pick up with it on the weekends, right? Maybe it's a cat nap here and there. Maybe it's sleeping in a little bit longer. That will help you out when it comes to your overall weekly average. But some things that I like to do is one, sleepy time tea. Like, I kid you not, sleepy time tea is a game changer for me. I like to personally add in just a little bit of honey, a little bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of coffee creamer, and then a scoop of protein powder in the mix. So like some salted caramel protein powder. Sleepy time tea, it does wonders for me. First off, it's like a dessert that I'm drinking before I go to sleep, and it literally makes me want to pass out. So, kid you not, go to Amazon. You can find it also at, a local grocery store, sleepy time tea. The second thing is turn off any kind of like electricity. Whether it's just like your laptop, whether it's the TV, whether it's your phone, anything like that, and do something that's going to just mellow you down. Whether that is like an evening time meditation, because it's going to help you slow, your brain waves. Whether that is reading, like personally, I like to read. And like when I read at night, I get very, very sleepy. It's like, it's also very enjoyable having a book that I'm reading before I go to sleep and just having the sleepy time tea next to me. I look forward to the evenings like that, So that's one other thing that you can do. And the last tip I would say is, kind of plan for it. Honestly, like most people have an alarm for when they actually wake up, but actually have an alarm for when you're going to go to sleep. Like get that part of your routine, and that's going to help you create better habits because of that. So it's very simple. Go on your phone, set an alarm. Like maybe it's, 8 o'clock at night. And maybe that's when you're starting to brew the hot water for the sleepy time tea and you're getting ready to grab your book. But maybe that's like the reminder also to, hey, turn off the TV, turn off the Netflix, turn off the phone, turn off the computer, right? Get off social media and start calming down a little bit. And then make sure that wherever you're sleeping at, it's just, hey, keep the temperature nice and cool. Obviously put up some blinders, keep it like nice and dark in there. And I promise you, like if you follow through with some of those strategies, that will help you improve your sleep. Now, the fourth strategy to help you overall just lower your stress is diet breaks or refeed days, okay? Sometimes when we're constantly dieting, right? So we're cutting down our calories, we're being strict with our, hitting our macros and all that stuff. Sometimes just giving ourselves permission, right, to just say, hey, I need a little diet break, right, is perfectly fine. Hence, if let's say you're stressed because you're dealing with a lot of stress at work or stress at home or something like that, give yourself permission to just say, listen, I'm trying my best to, be okay and focus on my health and fitness goals, but I'm also dealing with a lot of stress here. And I'll just say, right, for me personally, like sometimes having some comfort food and lowering those cortisol levels because I can just relax, taking a little diet break or maybe a refeed day to just like stock up on some extra carbohydrates, but, keeping my calories in check really just helps me to just feel better. Honestly, like, if you're somebody that's stressed out, like go get, a slice of pizza, Go have a beer, like go have a burger. Like it's perfectly fine. I'm saying, hey, do all this in moderation. Don't go AWOL with it, but give yourself a little diet break. Maybe that's one day where, hey, and what do I mean by that? Maybe try your best to stay within your calorie budget that we like to, help our members with. We would give them typically like a calorie goal and then a calorie budget, which is plus or minus of 200 calories from that set goal. That way it gives them a little flexibility. But it's like maybe staying within that calorie budget, but just, dude, like who cares what happens? Who cares about your macros? Who cares about your carbs, your fats, your proteins? And maybe just do that for a day. Just kind of reset, but then give yourself permission to get right back on board the following day. So you can do that, right? Totally understandable. If let's just say you feel like Monday through Friday you're very strict on the just sticking with your macros and everything like that. Maybe give yourself a day or two, maybe on the weekends, lower the protein down a tad, lower the fats down a tad, keep the calories where they're at, but maybe increase the carbohydrates. So that way, once again, you're kind of like restoring your glycogen stores, and that's going to help you out with more energy. That's going to help you out with obviously more stamina, more strength in the gym to once again just help you overall, maybe get you out of state of stress by just eating the foods that maybe you just want to have. So you guys can see in here, like these strategies that we just went over 4 of them. And I gave you guys different analogies, once again, in just the state of stress, whatever you're in, because everybody goes through stress. First one, just to recap. Taking a deload week or two, okay? The second one, and remember, I take a deload week just because I'm underneath a lot of stress with my injuries. My elbows, my joints and my shoulders, my knees, right? So if you're feeling like you got hit by a bus, guess what? It might be best to take a little deload week, okay? The second is do, what you can with what you have. So don't give yourself permission to just say, oh, like, I'm traveling and hey, there's nothing over here, so I'm going to give myself an excuse. It's like, no, like you can still, right, use your body, do some push-ups, do some squats, do some sit-ups, get some steps in, still be active, right? This is what it means to have a healthy lifestyle in general. You have to treat your health and fitness journey like a marathon, not a sprint, right? If you're treating it like a sprint where you just want to lose weight and see the number on skill go down, wrong mindset to have, right? So treat it like a marathon. The third tip was improve on your sleep. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. And remember, maybe if you're sick, think about that, right? Like just sleeping more can just help your body recover. And that's going to help you, get right back to, working out and staying fit, staying active, staying a part of your routine by lowering those cortisol levels just by sleeping more. And then the fourth tip that I just went over, which is giving yourself, permission to just say, hey, it's okay. Give yourself, having grace with yourself, and having a little diet break, having some refeed days. Now, I mentioned on here, there's 5 tips. And the last one is the glue that holds it all together. And this last one can cover any kind of state of stress that you're in. You might have a family member that recently passed away. You might have some injuries. You might have stress with finances. You might have stress, at work, right? You may have stress with politics and, religion and, the social media and the news and just in general, right? Maybe anxiety, worry, doubt, fear, any type of stress. There's so many. The last and final tip is the glue that holds it all together. The last and final tip is your best key for success if you want to successfully lower those cortisol levels down, right, and get out of that state of stress so that way you can continue to lose body fat. And that is having a community, having the right people in your corner that support you. Point blank example, whatever you're going through right now, I bet you that 90% of the problems is going on right here in your head. You are overthinking about the situation. There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of urgency, scarcity, the fear of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. And all of that stuff is going on in your head. And you're trying to take control of the situation when it's outside of your control. And anytime we're, weeding into our emotions and we're underneath a lot of stress is because, hey, we want to change something when it's literally out of our control. So what do? We start thinking about how can we get control back? Wrong mindset to have. Sometimes we just need to let go, let God. And also just having a community in our corner can really help us out. Because if let's say I'm ever going through anything, like maybe it's stress at work or stress at home or, hey, this is going on in my, journey, or, hey guys, I keep on falling off track on the weekends. Or, hey guys, I'm stressed because I can't hit my protein goal to save my life. Everything I've tried, right, I continue to miss out on my protein goal. Or, you know what, it's just like, oh man, I want to wake up and I want to go to the gym and I want to be an early morning person, but it's like I keep on making up these excuses and I eventually don't do anything at all. Well, guess what? Having a community, Having people in your corner that you trust, that you can talk to, you just say, hey, I need help right now. You're getting it off your chest. My pastor always says this, and I love it. He says, a problem shared is a problem cut in half. And I bet you anything right now that half of the problems that you're dealing with right now, it's a lot of internal thinking. It's a lot of internal stress. It's the simple fact that you probably don't have the right people in your corner right now that can help you. And that way you can just vent and get stuff off your chest. And if that is you right now, then I encourage you, reach out for help. This is what we do for a living. This is how we help out our members. It's not just, giving them workouts and giving them nutrition plans to follow and, personalized weekly check-ins. No, it's a lot more than that. It's helping them understand that, hey, whatever they're going through right now in their life, the bad wolf's always going to come in and tempt you. Then there's always going to be these unexpected events and curveballs our way, but they don't have to go through these challenges and adversities alone. They can have people in their corner that can support them. They can have people in their corner that can motivate them and be there with them and give them the different guidance. I mean, if let's just say, once again, somebody was falling off track on the weekends, and there was other people that can give them a perspective like, hey, focus on doing protein sparing, or hey, focus on this strategy, or whatever the case may be, that could just help them understand, man, these are strategies, these are tools, and hey, what works for this person, and they make a recommendation, I can now implement that and try that out. And sure enough, if it's successful, now the individual's not even dealing with that stress anymore. I'm telling you, this is the importance of community. I mean, think about it like this. Most people out there, they don't have that. And that's why it's very hard for them to successfully lose body fat, successfully get in the best shape of their life. That's why over 50% of the US is considered overweight or obese. Why every 1 in 4 males out there over the age of 40 struggle with having high blood pressure. And it doesn't have to be that way. It's just a simple fact of hey, us being surrounded with people that can help us hold, each other accountable. Even says in the Bible, right? Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. And I know for me, it helps out so much just having people in my community, having people that I can trust, having people hold me accountable, make sure that I'm staying on the right path. So that way, hey, I can build up better habits for myself, which essentially is people are pouring into me. So that way I can be a better role model, I can be a better leader, and eventually pour more out into others, my family members, my loved ones. So once again, guys, community is everything. You need to make sure that you're surrounded with yourself. Think about it like this. Jim Rome, he even said that you become the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. Les Brown said, hey, birds of a feather flock together. And there's so much truth to that. And if you're somebody right now that, hey, you don't have a community or you're looking for help, maybe you want to learn how to go through your health and fitness journey, and it's not just workouts and it's not just macros. It's actually having fun. It's actually, having the right form of support, holding you accountable, helping you. And there's a community there where people they care about you. Well, guess what? That's exactly how we help and coach our members at Heartletics. And if you want any more information about that, if you're watching this on YouTube, I have a completely free fat loss training guide. And also, hey, my link is just right there. If you want to, just click on the description box down below, schedule a strategy call, going over your health and fitness goals, we can do that as well. It's what's ever going to help you out. But at the end of the day, these are 5 key strategies, 5 key tips that no matter what state of stress that you're in right now, no matter what season, hey, here's some guidance, right? Here's some strategies to kind of help you out to roll the punches. That way you can get right back and stay on track within your health and fitness journey, because consistency is key at the end of the day. I really hope that you guys got a lot of value. If you did, definitely let me know. Leave a comment down below. And as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.